Yeah.
There is this song I heard at Samadhi. I forget the gentleman's name, but he is often there with his harmonium. I mean, he plays very beautifully. And once he shared a ghazal which starts off by saying, uh, I mean, I'll say it in Hindi first so that I can sort of explain it later. ये कैसी मुसीबत है हम खुद को ढूंढते हैं. Basically saying that we are stuck in such a morass that we just keep trying to look for ourselves we try to search for ourselves, search for our real self. Yeah.
True.
That Namdev Sholapurkar.
True.
Achan, you want to say something?
No, the organist you are talking about, that man is Namdev Sholapurkar or Dev.
Deva's dad, I think, or yeah, his dad.
Because Namdev Sholapurkar is a beautiful singer.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Is he the one who sang that New Life song?
Yeah,
In Hindi?
live song and also Parvarti.
Right. Oh, wow. He's got a range. Perfect voice.
It's
Yeah.
a very short man, but
Yep.
I mean, Baba used to comment on him saying that you are so short, but you got such a deep voice, basically, right? I mean, I remember having heard that about this gentleman.
Here's a couple of poems by Kabir in English. There is a secret one inside us. The planets and all the galaxies pass through his hands like beads. This string of beads one can only see with luminous eyes. That's Kabir. Here's another one. Are you looking for me? I'm in the next seat. My shoulder is against yours. You will not find me in mosque or temple or cathedral. When you look for me, you will see me instantly. You will find me in the most humble dwelling this very moment. Was that audible at all?
Yeah. Beautiful. Lovely, Jeff.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, I I hope at least I'll be blessed with such an opportunity to see Baba next to me.
Yeah.
Feel his presence all the time. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Yes.
If you turn off all the lights in your room, your camera will show much better.
Okay. Well, if I turn off everything, you won't be able to see me, I don't think.
Hey.
I'll do it. Nope.
Doesn't work.
I have another one from Kabir. You guys wanna?
Yeah.
She wants to share a picture of my head. She says, could you open and share that?
Okay.
Where is that?
Can I share?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead,
now
let
it's
me see.
free.
Now it's free.
Yeah.
I'm talking too loud?
No.
Okay. Many have died. You also will die. The drum of death is being beaten. The world has fallen in love with a dream. All sayings of the wise will remain. Only sayings of the wise will remain. Wow. Kabir, thank you. Nobody hear me?
No, we can hear you. Yeah. Beautiful.
Nobody
Yeah.
said anything.
And that's Kabir.
It's so profound. I mean, we can only feel it in the silence. And, it's so good.
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Lanita, could you say it again?
Okay. Well, let me find here. Okay. Many have died. You also will die. The drum of death is being beaten. The world has fallen in love with a dream. Only sayings of the wise will remain. Kabir,
Yeah, beautiful.
did you hear me now?
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah. 1 second.
I'd like to share something. Could you open the screen sharer, please?
Uh, I wish I knew how to do that. I mean,
You have to give up presenting right.
oh, well, I mean, how would I do it? I mean, I'm not sure. But let me try. 1 second.
Oh gosh.
1 second. Let me see. Betty, do you know any such thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how either.
Yeah.
Alan, I
too.
bet Alan knows.
Oh, well, ask to start video. I think you can. Let me try this and go for it. See if you can, Mayor.
No, that's not it. What you have to do is go to security
Okay, let me try that. Security, okay.
and then share screen.
Oh, allow participants to share screen. Yeah, there you are. Thank you. Very slow.
Yeah.
That's
You're welcome.
Mayor. Yeah, you can now share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm just sending it.
Oops. Wow, cute.
I sent it. Got it?
Yeah, we can
there you
see it.
are.
Yeah.
I made it yesterday. I
Oh,
did.
lovely.
I said I'd like
Thank
to
you,
share it
May.
with you all.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
It's a big
Any,
heart.
any
huh?
special occasion, Mayor?
No,
That's it.
nothing. Just
Okay.
from my mind.
Okay.
It just
Jai
came.
Baba. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can, if you want to take that off the screen, you can just say stop share on your Zoom window.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jai
Thank
Baba.
you.
Share, Baba.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jeff, you have any other story for us?
Well, let's see what, Alan, you got anything happening there?
Alan said he will be back. That's what Adrian was mentioning. Yeah.
I'm right here, Prakash.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see you. Are you there? Oh, sorry, Alan. I missed you.
I'll tell you I'll share with you the last exchange I had with Erich, not knowing that it would be the very last thing. I mean, I enjoyed Erich's company for decades and decades. But on this particular occasion, I was at the trust. I used to go every year and get together with a guy named Craig Ruff. And we would compare notes. I would tell him about the problems that we're having at the center. And we've had our problems, and there, I was always hoping we would find this harmony, but around Baba Places and everything, harmony is a lot of a work in progress. So I would kind of share what I was going through and what what was going on at the center, and he would tell me what was going on in the trust compound, where a lot of the Westerners lived and some of the old Mandali lived. And so we were just outside the trust office. We were sitting at a little table, and doing our yearly kind of comparing of notes. And at one point, Erich comes out. He's walking down the veranda, but he stops at our table. He says, "What are you two guys doing?" And Craig pipes up and says, "Oh, Jeff's telling me about the problems at the center." And Erich looks down at me and he says, and what he says comes from Baba through Erich right into my lap. He says, "Jeff, are you still having problems?" And this is what he said, and it has and what he said, I knew exactly what he said. What he said was, "Are you still having a problem with problems?"
Yeah.
I was having a problem with problems. In other words, problems shouldn't be happening there at the center, you know. So I have not had a problem since, you know. I mean, it's like, I mean, you have problems, but then you have times where you're problem free, and then you have problems again, and you know. So I mean, he freed me. I don't know what year that was. Maybe kind of shortly after 2000. Well, I don't know the year he passed on, but
2002.
2002. Okay, Merchan. Yeah. So I have not had a problem with these things in the same way at all.
How about your memory?
What was my name? Was it not? No, I'm okay so far. I'm so far okay. Thank you, Bob. Knock on wood.
Yeah, that's.
But there was something very, you know, we think that things, if you just take problems as they come and the problemless period and take them it doesn't have to be a problem. The world doesn't have to be conform to the way we want it to be.
I mean, should the attitude be "this too shall pass," or we should handle it in a different way?
Well, I mean, that's a great attitude to have, but also tackling problems is part of what what's going to come our way. We're going to have to deal with problems, but not to have a problem with the fact that problems come up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not to make a problem of the problem.
I had a problem with problems. I think this place should be harmonious. Baba
Not to
asked.
make a problem of the problem.
But anyway.
Jeff, I stand corrected. 2001. 2002 is Allahabad. 2001 is.
Ooh. Say that again?
It's mentioned. 2001 is Hiroj. 2002 Allahabad. 2003 Bala.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Confused.
Actually, that's correct, because I remember it's about, I think, 11 days after Erich passed away, 10 days after or something.
This is profound. What you just shared.
Oh, Payamjan, your voice is breaking up.
Yeah, actually, 10 days after Erich dropped his body, we had September 11th happen here. Erich passed away on.
Twin Tower crash.
Yeah. Erich passed away on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to run out of battery.
I am.
You can tell.
Paya.
Actually, a robot. You guys don't.
Yeah, right. It sounds like a.
You know. Glenn forgot to plug her in this morning.
So, Prakash, you are saying something.
No, I just said basically, now I recall, it's actually 2000.
One
Okay, Prakash, can you mute her for a second?
Yeah, I think I'll try.
Yeah, the muting function wasn't working for
I-
her for some reason.
I
don't know.
think the aliens have taken over her body.
I don't know
Oh,
what
this is
happened.
funny. I mean, this never happened. It says admit somebody. I mean, I don't think we had such a feature allowed in this particular room setup. It says basically admit Payam into the thing and into the meeting.
Did you click on enable waiting room by accident?
Well, I could have. Let's see. It must be in the security, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's not.
It's not clicked. It's not clicked. But it's funny. I don't see anybody else. Oh, sorry. That's my screen. Sorry. Okay. Now I see Pam. Okay.
Payam, it sounded like you were kind of possessed or something. You were like, your voice was like
I'm
like
at 1%.
Oh, good. You're good now.
She has 1% battery. That'll do it every
okay.
time.
Yeah, that's what I.
Like it was going in super slow motion.
So, Alan,
Prakash,
got
please.
anything that you're ruminating on?
Oh.
What is
Yeah.
that you're showing us?
I think it's something that me and Jake Lawton were talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody mute that woman.
I don't.
Now she's muted. Okay.
Hey, Payam, your every time you are speaking, it is creating a large echoing alien sound. So perhaps charge your phone and then come back.
So Al is showing something to us. What is that, Al? Al, unmute yourself. Please.
Jeff, why don't you sing a song?
What is this, Al?
We'll see. I'm trying to figure out what's Al is showing here.
It's a cat.
Oh, I know what it is. I got this. It's a cat.
Okay, now you know.
It's a cat like doing a back bend or something. Doing a yoga back bend.
That's right.
Al,
I
you
saw
can
that
screen
on
share that
Facebook.
a lot easier. Do a screen share.
I don't know how to do a screen
Yes,
share.
you know how to
Who
do
do you
it.
think you're talking to?
Look on
How
your
do you do it?
iPhone.
This is
and
on
it
my
says-
iPhone, and I'm on my iPad, and this is on my iPhone. I have no idea how to share that.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah.
Unless I just go like that, then you can see it.
I got it.
Send it to me, I'll fix it.
So, Alan, what you been pondering?
I was just saying that I was talking to Jake Lawton the other night, and we were talking about what to do about these things that are sort of really challenging to give to Baba, where it's like, I think I brought it up to you once before. My cat is going to start meowing. Bella.
He wants to give his cat to Baba.
Basically how to give these things that are like, I know you spoke about like giving things to Baba, and it's sort of like the restaurant, like buffet plates that keep coming, but some of these things are kind of like daily and moment to moment, to the point where it's just really excruciating to, I don't know, to constantly be with. So, I mean, like those things where you get to the edge of like, whoa, Baba, I don't know if I'm ready to let go of like these specific things in my life, like my job or my life, my wife or my cat. Some of these things are very hard to surrender, I think. So that's been on my mind.
I mean, it seems like if you surrender them, then they'll get taken away, but it's really the attachment to them gets taken away. So you're not going to be able to get rid of Adrian that easy.
Or the cat.
or your but I mean that's what he takes away, you know, but it is a natural kind of anxiety. If I give the reins of my life entirely to Baba, you know, what if he does something like he did to Job, or, you know, some of these great lovers of God. So there is a little bit of a, you know, a hesitation.
What did he do to Job?
Huh?
What did he do to Job?
Oh, the unbelievable trials.
Yeah. Have you not heard of the trials of Job?
Maybe, but
Thursday?
I don't remember it. I don't remember. I didn't study Christianity.
Yeah.
Oh, he had boils and he had, his life was a miserable, it was miserable. And he was, Job, he's the Old Testament.
Oh, maybe we called him Yaqub.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting thing that you might, I mean, about giving. I've been into Baba for about 8 years. And, you know, I didn't think I had any particular doubts about Baba, you know, and I was working here at the center and all that. And I found myself at the tomb, kind of outside under the portico. I don't think there was anyone else there. But this thought came to me, and with authority, with a kind of insistence. Are you willing to give, gee, sorry, are you willing to give the rest of your lives in creation to Bob? Now, I mean, like, now, and what I'm going to tell you took probably about 1 minute or 45 seconds, but I thought, oh my God. I mean, we know Buddha was, you know, history is proven Buddha was, you know, the genuine, and Jesus was, and Muhammad, and the Buddha, and all that, Krishna. Wow, I thought, oh my God, Baba's really, you know, he is kind of new. I mean, I didn't think I had any doubts about it. And then I thought, I mean, all this is like going through. I thought, what was, I'm trying to think of something else. The last thing I thought of was, you know, you've always been a gambler. Oh, here's one thought I had is like, if I don't know who he is after 8 years, am I gonna know, am I gonna have any more conviction, you know, 8 more years or 20 more years? I somehow feel like I was not going to know any more. Time was not going to make me any more convinced. And it's like I say, all this is happening in about 45 seconds. Then I thought, I've always been a gambler. And, you know, I'm just going to gamble it. Love just gambles. I'm going to go into the tomb and I'm going to put the rest of my lives in creation. Now, I thought, well, you know, you know, he could. What if he was just a perfect master? I mean, I can't go wrong. But I'm going to go in and put the rest of my lives down at his feet in creation. So I went in there with some trepidation, and in the moment my forehead touched the marble, boom! A massive explosion. I knew I had done the right thing. I mean, I did, up to that moment, I didn't, you know, that was like the riskiest, craziest thing I ever did. You know, so this kind of giving to Baba is, there's a line from Rumi, giving away the self is beyond any religion. So love makes you do the incredible thing of giving these things that you would not in your right mind give to anybody else. You know, that was.
So when you were giving, when you had that moment, do you feel like that was sort of the last little fevers of your resistance to Baba?
I don't know, but I haven't really thought about that, you know. I mean, I haven't, I kind of felt, I mean, I knew that I was giving my word. I was going to give the rest of my lives in creation to Baba. So I feel like I was willing to do that. And so I feel like I've possibly done that, at least to the extent that I'm not worried about that whole thing about who Baba is and all that. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these things, I think, I saw the mandali. It's like we had a 50-foot board, you know, in a place on a lake when I grew up, and there were people that jumped off the 50-foot board. And when you see that they survived, you know that you can kind of do it yourself. But if you're the only one that goes up, if you're the first one that goes up there, you don't know if you're going to hurt yourself when you hit the water. Well, the mandali, I think of the mandali, we got to see people, the mandali were people jumping off the 50-foot board. And look at how they came out. They came out so beautifully. So they inspired us to take that dive, take that leap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead. You were saying that in the course of the day, things just keep coming up that you'd rather not give to Baba, or you feel kind of a reluctance, a holding
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely like it's kind of like, it's almost like I mean, moment to moment, I know that Bob is there, but there's also this other part of me that has this sense of like, I just, there's some things that I just can't like, it's like when you walk down the street and then like your eyes just automatically, like if there's like a red car or something, you're just like automatically, it's like a reptilian part of your brain that automatically does something, like it just something like that about my life seems like, I guess it just seems like it's never enough. Seems like it's never enough to like, as much as I try. As weird as that sounds, it's like I think I'm aware of the failures or the times that I'm not
Hold
doing
on, Panda.
things. And so, yeah, I'm just aware of that, heightened awareness of that.
Where do you want to go?
But I don't think, I have a feeling we never really get it together.
Yeah.
We just, we're given realization, even though we didn't actually complete the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like endless. I mean, if you wanted to become patient, you'll never be patient enough or courageous. I mean, even Mara was afraid of heights. What if she set out to get rid of all fear, including fear of heights? It's like it's not necessary to master all of these emotional complexes.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you'll always be in deficit. That's my feeling.
I mean, when you have that awareness, I guess, then you can kind of ease the brakes on judging and criticizing other people then, because there's a lot of people that I have a hard time with, but I just kind of like, all I can do is just be like, Baba, please help me, because oh man, like that, like Baba, please, like it just keeps going on, and I have to like, with certain people, it's very hard to remember that kindness,
Alan, your kitty says, love me.
She's
She
21
has
years old.
Pick me up and give me attention.
she has dementia, so no matter what I do, she just does that.
Oh,
It's not a hunger thing. It's not a attention thing. Like we can hold her all day and feed her all day, but she
Oh.
She kind of is going off the rocker.
About what, 20, right? Something like that, 21?
Yeah, 20, 21 and a half, almost 22.
Yeah.
Amazing. You guys have done a beautiful job of keeping her alive. Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Oh.
You don't have to mute yourself.
Oops. Oh no.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you just, yeah, yeah, I mean, the, getting these things all, you know, getting all these things worked out, it's endless.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I think Darwin, I can't remember, but I think Darwin used to say that you might become, you could become realized in the middle of washing dishes. You know, what I
Well,
mean is,
from
it's
tomorrow
not,
I'm washing dishes, guys.
it's not when you, you know, you psychologically perfected all of these things and you know, well, I once asked Merji, because he was one of Baba's Mandali, I asked him, you know, how he was able to overcome worry. He said, overcome worry? Around my whole life with Baba was like this. He makes this gesture. You know, it was like, wow. You know, and Erich, when he said when he would be waiting, a train would be coming, and they would have the Mandalay have all this luggage, and they'd have to get Baba and the luggage on this train that might stop for just 5 minutes. And he said it, I mean, this dread, he feel this horrible dread in him. Because the moment that train stopped, boy, they had to get Baba sometimes through a window and get the bags and everything. Some of them would have to get bags later on, you know, farther down, or they have to get the next train and bring the bags. It was like horrendous experience. But, you know, that was,
And Gustaji's plastic bag collection, or what did he would just collect trash and take it
yeah,
on the trains with him.
trash all day. But so it wasn't a matter of being worry free.
So lesson learned, if you're gonna come back with the avatar, come back as one of his gopis.
So,
They had it made.
Well, no, I once asked Goer, this is early on, I think on my first trip. I said, we were in a room together, and I said, did you ever worry that Baba just might one day send you back to the world? You know, that you're here with him and he send you back to the world? And she said, all the time.
Mm.
They didn't have that conviction that they have a solid place. They're basically on tenterhooks.
Well, yeah, that would be complacency, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, you
Jeff,
know, yeah, go ahead.
no, when Mergis shook his head like this, and then did he mean that there was no time for him to worry because there's so much to do all the time, or?
No,
or
he was worrying all the time.
oh, okay.
As a businessman, and he was one of the people that supported Baba's life financially, along with Sarosh and Nariman and I think Elizabeth. But yeah, no, this is like around, you know, this is the way it was around Baba. They didn't, so we shouldn't beat ourselves up if we can't, you know, get it all right, you know. A lot
Yeah, I
of,
just always learn from Erich when I see those videos of him and people just asking him the same questions and just the attitudes that I saw people in or heard in some tapes with people like somebody almost I think they said something like are you stupid? You didn't hear what I just said? Like it was like recorded. I heard somebody say
wow.
something like that, and he was just like was not phased. I mean, just even the energy in his voice, it was nothing no defensiveness. It was just like the guy said, "Hey, do you like the color red?" Like it was just I learned from that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really something to behold. We should get Marta. Marta, can you remember something? Baba really got a kick out of Marta. You know, I don't know if she's in one of these little boxes, but there was a nice rapport. Marta, are you there? Ah, we lost her.
Marta Flores, you there? Can you hear us? I guess not.
Yeah.
You said
So
she met Baba?
What's the story?
No, I mean, I was just saying that she was there a lot in the early years, and I say that that Eric's really got a kick out of her. You know this, but she might be able to remember some exchanges.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Let's wake her up. Make a lot of noise.
yeah, Marta. Marta. I heard some good exchanges that I wish I could remember them. They're not coming to me now, but I was with Philip Krieger, and he's got a lot of nice interactions with Erich. I mean, things that he said and he wrote down. He was a person that actually wrote diaries. Yeah.
He's my neighbor.
Uh-huh.
Philip.
Yeah.
He lives across from me right here.
What are the chances of getting him on Zoom?
Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah.
What's the name of this gentleman?
A guy named Philip Krieger. Yeah. You know, there was one guy that he tells a story, a guy named Nick Principe, and he was told that, you know, on his first trip to India, that he needs to get the prasad from the avatar. So he comes and he goes to the tomb, and I don't know if he exactly knew what prasad was, but he went in the tomb and everything, and he came out, and this little lady gave him a couple of candies, and he was like really upset, you know. And this little lady gave him some candies, and that's prasad. And he was supposed to get the prasad from the master. I mean, these are kind of crazy ideas that you have when you're young. And a couple of days later, he went out to Mirzad, and he said, and that little lady happened to be Mansari, one of us, you know. But so he's there with Erich, and he says, you know, I came here, I wanted to get the prasad from the master, and this little lady gave it to me. And Erich said, I got to remember the words. Even the air you breathe is his prasad if you take it that way.
Oh.
That was intense.
Even the air you breathe is his prasad if you take it that way.
Wow.
It's true.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, even the glass of water that you drink, you know, if you take it.
You know, there are people like that. I haven't met any, but maybe in books that truly live like that. I mean, when they experience God all around them.
Yeah. Yeah, those Prem Ashram boys had a great reverence, and even You know, even Sam Carawala there toward the end, such reverence for everything that, you know, all around them. It was something to behold. I don't know if he'd be able to hold. Oh, hey, Marta.
Marta's awake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm blowing my nose and making noise.
No, but I was telling them that
Yeah.
Erich really enjoyed your company.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed his too.
Yeah, that was great. But any exchanges you can remember from Erich or any kind of impressions of Erich that you can share?
Oh gosh. Well, I think I might have shared this before, but I don't know if I shared it here. It's one of the, I don't have very many regrets, but 17 years ago, I went to India the last time. And when I got to Mirzad, of course, Erich was long gone. When I got to Mirzad, I saw Mirwan and he came up and he hugged me. Now, he hasn't seen me in a long, long time. And the first thing he says is, "Why didn't you come to see Erich?" And oh my God, I just felt like, oh, I felt my heart just sank. You know, it's like, why didn't I come to see Erich before he died? So that was one of my regrets. He says, well, okay. He says, go into his room there and ask his forgiveness.
No, because Erich really enjoyed your company. It was a great rapport.
Yeah, it was. We like to tease each other.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hang out with the guys and with Erich, and he kept always sending me over to the porch with Mara. He says, now go over with Mara. And I go, no, I want to stay here with you. He goes, go over with Mara. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Any earlier, any experiences that you remember with him?
Oh God, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not like you, Jeff. I don't have that memory to recall stuff 17, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
If I think of it, I'll let you know.
40 years ago, probably, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because the last time I went, he was gone. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I mean, Marta, I have a question. When you were there with Erich, were there any people that would come into the group or were around the area that were sort of, I don't know how you say, like troublemakers or people who were kind of difficult personalities, and you could see how Erich sort of handled that?
Well, he was a master at that, yeah. He was a master at that. I don't remember anything specific, but I know there was a lot of characters, that's for sure. I mean, especially in the earlier days, God, there was a lot of weirdos, and they would do so many weird things, and then a lot of the women would dress really provocative, and you know, the Mandali would have to tell them, you know, this isn't appropriate. I mean, because you know, the Rajneesh place was right in Pune, and the Rajneesh people were all about, you know, free love and all that stuff. So yeah, I remember a lot of weird stuff happened around the Samadhi and very inappropriate stuff. But it got taken care of, you know. Yeah, in the early days, people were much more wild, I think. Or maybe we were just dumber. I don't know. I don't know what it's like now. I haven't been in a long time.
Here's a response. I may have shared it with you, Alan, but kind of the type of thing that Erich, I would like, I watch Erich and how he'd respond to somebody. I would see a response that was not even in my toolbox. You know? And so there was one guy that came to India, and he really didn't know why he wanted to come, because he would be there in Mandalay Hall, and Erich would tell these very touching stories about Bob and everything. And at the end of it, this guy would always make some kind of sarcastic remark. Yeah, maybe that could be, you know, and he was always kind of undercutting. And some weeks went by, and he just you know, he'd do it make these kind of sarcastic remarks at the end after a very touching story, and the Weston's ready to strangle this guy. You know, if you don't like the stories, if you don't believe them, what are you doing? Don't even come into Mandalay Hall. But we control ourselves. But one day in Mandalay Hall, Erich, was telling a story, and at the end, he made one of his usual kind of sarcastic remarks. And Erich looked over at him and said, "Your remarks frighten me." And he never did that again. Who would say that? I mean, I would have said, "Your remarks piss me off." Your remarks frighten me. He described what sarcasm does to the human heart. It frightens. Because it's kind of undercover. It's not quite honest, and it's a form of hurting somebody, but it's glossed over somehow. But you get hit. You get kind of punched in the stomach. But Erich held up the mirror, and I don't know if that guy, it may have been a turning point in his life. Those are the kind of responses.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah.
let me tell this story. It's a short story.
Yeah.
When I went to India for the first time, that I went with Ira, and then we went to Mandalay Hall, and Erich, as he used to do that, every newcomer, he wants to this person tell a story, how they came to Baba. So, but before I tell my story, Ira said it to him. Erich asked something about me to Ira, and Ira said, I made her a Baba lover. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made you a Baba lover.
Ira got the nerve to say this to Erich. I made her a Baba lover. Erich laughed so hard. I think he was laughing for at least 2 or 3 minutes. He couldn't stop laughing.
Beautiful.
Then Ira realized what he said. Afterward he said to me, "I can't believe I said that." He said, "Oh my God, that was so funny."
That's a good story.
But I thought of the Mandali as they are like, examples of how to devote yourself to Baba, how to live for him. Mm-hmm. It's not just Baba, but we got to see how we could behave to draw closer to Baba. I mean, that was and they were so natural and so deeply human and fun loving and everything. Yeah.
Jeff, did you ever watch personally how most of your interactions would have been with Darwin, maybe others, Kitty and others. How did they deal with each other? I think Baba would put them up against each other because that they could only have the capacity for one another at that level. I don't think ants like us, well, I'm talking about myself, would have really been able to irritate them, but perhaps they being at each other's level were able to irritate each other. How did they handle that? Do you recall any situation where that you observed that?
Well, Wendy describes this scene where Margaret and Elizabeth and Kitty, I think it's the 3 of them, are out on the screen porch at Dilruba. And somehow Margaret said some cutting remark to Kitty that kind of actually hurt her. And Wendy was there too. She kind of witnessed it. And afterwards, she said to Kitty, you know, does this ever, did these things ever, does this ever stop? Do you ever get over these things, get through these things? She said, you now compared to the past, you get through things much faster.
Yeah.
In other words, someone hurts you, and
Yeah.
it might have lasted a month or years, and now you can process it in a half hour, and you can get back on your feet again.
Wonderful. That's really helpful.
So it's not like it's that these things aren't going to happen and you're not going to get hurt, but you just get through them a lot faster. And your mind doesn't come in there. Baba said, like, for example, if someone slaps you, the pain goes away in about, 3 seconds, the sting. But then how your mind interprets that slap can make that slap last a long time. If someone slaps you, you may keep a distance from them, or you may backbite them for the next 30 years, or they may become all that from one slap. But they could take the slap and
bounce back.
And bounce back.
It's the stories we tell ourselves about the situation.
Yeah, no one does that to me. No one should do that to me. I'm so-and-so. There was a...
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Alan. Beautiful.
That's a shot where Baba is looking.
Let me see, where is it?
This is in the trust compound, and Baba is looking at his foot.
Lower, and
I don't think...
perfect.
Oh, wow.
A woman had come up and put a coin on his foot.
Oh.
And Baba stopped. It was like quite a moment. Where, because Baba didn't touch money, but she put it on his bare foot.
So why she did that?
Can you see? Well, that's kind of one thing. You bring a saint's money and you put it at their feet. Do you see his feet there? Are his feet there? No.
No, you don't.
No.
You can see that in the movie where Baba's animatedly receiving people, and then suddenly he becomes like a statue.
He freezes.
And that's when that coin was put. The reason is that Darwin was there and he saw it.
It's 11:30.
This is a moment before.
Yeah, that's in the compound.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. But this is where Baba's standing up. I don't know if you've got another one, but that's the same darshan.
Yeah, that was a few moments before somebody had kind of placed, and then I don't know when, a little bit later, when I saw that on film, I lost my breath.
Yeah.
It really shook me.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering after watching that movie, what really happened? Baba turned into a statue? Or did they pause in that movie?
Shraddha, are you you're familiar with that particular scene?
I watched that scene with my father. We were watching it in the NPR hall. I think they were after dinner they were showing a movie.
Yeah.
And we watched that scene, and Baba just froze.
Yeah.
And he had his garland over his neck and everything. And my father was asking me, what really happened there? Is the movie frozen or did Baba freeze? Because everything else around Baba was moving, but Baba froze.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when that coin was put on.
Yeah. And we saw Darwin sitting next to Baba as well.
Then you see Baba looking at the camera and throwing a stone. Well, you don't know what he's throwing, but he's throwing something at the camera, and Darwin caught that stone, and he always kept that stone on him that Baba had thrown.
There's video of that, Jeff?
Huh?
There's video of that moment?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You'll see Baba looking at the camera, and he kind of goes, he kind of playfully throws something. Thrown to Darwin. Yeah.
Which movie was this?
It's Meher Baba's Call, The Three Incredible Weeks. Yeah.
Meher Baba's Call.
Did Darwin ever talk about what exactly happened? What was going on with that instant?
Yeah, that's how I know about the coin, because he witnessed that.
The coin still remained at Baba's feet then, or was it taken away?
Yeah, I think it was taken away. I can't remember. I think it maybe fallen off, but like I say, Baba didn't touch money, and
I was talking to Jake, and I realized that yesterday, I don't know if you were here, Jeff, but I was bringing up some quotes from Three Incredible Weeks, and I had recently just had a dream where I was in the middle of the audience, but in the front center, and the stage was there with the microphone, and Baba was asked this man on stage to tell a joke, and he was kind of a more rotund man, and it was like being spoken in a different language that I didn't understand. And then when the moment, what I was telling Jake was like, the moments felt like there were these waves in the dream, where it would go from this like pensive tenseness through the crowd, and all of a sudden you can kind of feel it lifting up and getting lighter, and then all of a sudden it would crescendo into this laughter, and we were all focused on Baba, and it was just like this, he was sort of orchestrating it, just the tiniest little smile, and everybody was like released from the tension, and so I had that dream, and then I didn't know what it was up until recently, when I started reading about the Three Incredible Weeks, and I saw that footage that I had shown you with Bob Fredericks put that beautiful music in the background. And
well, you could very well have been there,
I don't know. It feels very, very familiar, and it sort of makes me feel like going back home or something, or just from watching the film, it just feels like I could be back at home. Oh, wow.
Looking down.
There it is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
That's
Who's doing this? It's great.
Not sure.
Fabulous. Huh.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you guys are just putting garlands around Baba. And
incredible.
Wow, I did not know that story.
Was Fred there, Jeff? Fred Winterfeld?
Yeah.
Baba looks tired.
I wonder who that old man is. That old man with the glasses. He looks like he always reminds me of a scientist. But in that video, you remember he was like gave Bob a very gentle hug.
Yeah. I was wondering who he was too. It seems like somebody I should know who he was.
Yeah.
You know who it is, Jeff?
I don't know which one you're referring to.
The hug video, and the guy has rimmed glasses, really like, what do they call spectacles like?
And
he has gray hair.
He's white hair.
Yeah.
Tall.
No, that's Fred Marks.
I'll be back. I gotta get my charger.
So tall.
Okay.
What's that?
He was sitting down.
Huh? I'll find a still frame of it.
Yeah.
and show it on the camera here in a second. But he just seems so familiar. I keep seeing him here and
He
there,
does.
and I'm wondering what his name is. I'm sure I could do some research, but
Could it be Charles Purdom?
let's
Well,
see.
I
yeah, it might be.
have to see the. Can you find it there? Or?
Yeah,
Looks
I'm
like
scrolling
him.
through the video right now to see if I can get a still frame of him.
Okay,
there you
I'm
go.
back. I can do
Oh,
it.
good.
Yeah.
There you go.
I had the film ready to go,
Oh,
and then I realized my battery was about to die.
oh yeah, there she. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
That's Will Backett there.
No, that's not him though. But is that who you're thinking of?
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Is
No,
that
that's not who I'm thinking of. He's gonna come. He's got glasses on.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe Freshly, do you know?
This guy?
He hasn't come yet.
No, he hasn't come yet. Do you know which person we're talking about?
No.
Way,
Well, we'll show her when he comes.
Yeah.
Slower, slower. Oh, going too fast.
Are you talking about
Keep going.
this?
Keep going. No, no. No, he hugs Bob a really long time.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
short.
Yeah. Oh, that guy is incredible.
Yeah, that guy's incredible.
Feeling Baba.
Make your screen bigger, Alan.
How do I get this?
That's Dr. Deshmukh, I think, on the left.
There, that one.
Oh, that
That
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
That guy.
I thought that guy. I don't know that guy. He's Indian.
He's an Indian? Oh.
Yeah. And
He looks so familiar.
Same Baba. He may have been one of those guys from Hamirpur.
Oh, maybe.
I haven't known who that guy is, but he's, yeah.
Yes,
lucky.
scene with him and Baba is beautiful. Look his face, he's in bliss.
This
You know,
guy right
that's
here
beautiful.
really. This guy was there. He knew that he was hugging I mean, that is just.
Look at
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Who is
just-
that, Jeff?
Um,
Who's that guy, you know?
Wow.
Look at this guy.
Oh man, he's
He's
lucky.
Baba
Then he
hugging
gets to kiss Baba's hand too.
Wow.
Oh man, he milked it.
yeah, I used to know who that was.
Oh,
Look at his face. Oh God, it's so
That's
sweet.
Dana Field, I think.
Is that?
I think so, from LA.
oh, they
That
look like children, you know, when they look Baba.
They do.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
Bill LePage looks just like his son Michael.
Is
Yeah.
Bill, did you see Bill Page in this video?
Yeah.
Really?
Let me see.
Is that
Oh,
Bill?
he's got black.
No, that's
No.
Who's that?
that's
You guys actually saw Bill LePage in this video?
I believe it.
Yeah.
that's Malcolm Schloss.
Oh, that's
pages
Malcolm.
before.
Did I
Bill
catch
pages
up?
before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing
Yeah,
Bill LePage.
let me tell you something about Malcolm Schloss there. The,
I think that's Fred Frey.
the previous guy, if you go back a little bit, you'll get to Malcolm Schloss.
Malcolm
There he
Schloss.
is. There he is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Malcolm Schloss. And let me tell you something about Malcolm Schloss.
Yeah.
He had a great love. I mean, he was, he was with Adrian. Jean Adriel back in the 30s when Baba first came, but they kind of split up at a certain point.
Oh, they were a couple?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they were together for a long time, but then that kind of broke up. I don't know any of the details, but then he had a great love, and it was a woman named Mona. And just before he came in 54, that's Malcolm Schlosser. Just before he came, I guess she had died. Not just before, but you know. And when he was here with Darwin was there, and I think maybe Fred and Malcolm was there. And now this is postgraduate Baba. I'm telling you. He said to Baba, you know, I mean, out of his grief and everything, he said, "Where is Mona?"
Mm.
And Baba looked at him and said, "Mona never existed."
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
Oh.
Wow, that is a great statement.
Oh.
I mean, once again, Jeff, what was that?
He you know, Malcolm asked Baba, you know, where is Mona? The great love of his life at that time, and she had died. Where is Mona? And Baba looked at him and said, Mona never existed.
Wow.
I mean, that's hardball. Playing hardball without any mitts.
But you know what, Jeff? It's not just for him.
Yeah.
Hearing you say that for me, it's like all those heartbreaks that I suffered for years and crying and drama. I mean, you just hit that statement, just cut through all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
Well, not only that, it says to me that it was all along, it was Baba.
Sure, yeah. But we get attached to those forms, or I get attached to the forms. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's what Baba meant to say, Farstedt. You know, when he said Mona never exists. The love was Baba.
This gentleman right here is from Japan, I believe. Yeah. And I think he told Baba, I will keep my silence until you break your silence. So I don't know if he kept his promise, but Baba never broke.
His name was something like Hitaker, but one of the caretakers at the center named Dean Nordquist. Dean is kind of a Japanese file, you know. I mean, so he went over to Japan hoping that he might be able to find this guy. And there was somebody that meditated up in the mountains, and the name, I mean, they gave the name Hitaker, but it, you know, there's not any real certainty, but there was some guy that had a name that was a little bit similar, and he was kind of like a monk or something. So but he never really had a chance to meet him. But he asked Baba if he would come to Japan, and Baba said, in 700 years.
Wow.
Some people think he's going to live in Japan, but that isn't necessarily the case. He may just come. He may be just in transit in Japan, you know.
Yeah, that's more like it, because I just can't see him breaking all his own rules.
There's Fred Winterfeld.
That's incredible, Jeff, that you hung out with Fred, and Fred is right there with Baba.
Yeah. And hugging them, you're hugging people that have been hugged by Baba, you know what I mean? I mean, they contain the divine impressions, you might say, right on their person.
Yes.
I mean, when I would call the Gateway to make reservations back in the early 70s, and I get Fred on the phone, I would up in Schenectady, I find myself expanding just talking to him over the phone.
Hmm.
It just came, He was here on the center, and he was in a very expansive state, and it came across through the telephone, believe it or not.
Did he ever help you through emotionally challenging times?
Fred used to have, he told me that, in fact, I've got the chair. He would sit with Baba in the morning. He would actually have, Baba would appear, and he would be in the chair next to him, and Fred would talk with Baba about the different people in the nearby community, and or different people had problems, and they would talk about these things, and then he would be able to help you. He never said that, he didn't tell them, but he would say he might know somebody is thinking of divorcing their wife. And so they would come in for the evening program to sign in, and he might just kind of pull them in the back and say, hello, how are you doing? Come, let's go talk. You know, and he'd go back there and he'd get it out of them that they were thinking of leaving their wife.
Oh, wow.
And he, and which he must have discussed with Baba in the morning. And there's no way anybody could have known that.
Yeah.
You know, and so he would, you know, usually try to convince them to stick it out. I mean, he saved a number of marriages, I'm sure, by his, because he had a great intuition.
Wow. Well, so then you must have had a couple mornings like that with him.
With
Fred.
With Fred and Baba?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I didn't. This was early in the morning that he did, and I was over sleeping on a cot in the gateway.
No, I mean, you must have had a couple moments where Fred kind of intuitively picked up something about what was going on in your life and was like,
oh, he did.
Hey, Jeff, come here.
Huh? Okay. I was married. This is back in 72. For 2 years. No, after about a year, I thought, I'm getting out. This is not, I'm getting out of this thing. And I was like, I had it all in my head. I was going to, you know, leave the marriage. I had not told anybody. I mean, this was just, I had not mentioned it all. And I'm working at the time I was working at Sherry Art Press. And, you know, and around lunchtime, Fred shows up. I'm thinking, I kind of knew about him. I'm thinking, God, if he knows, how could he know? But I just kind of played dumb and everything. And he says, Jeff, would you like to go out for lunch? Let me take you out for lunch, you know. Oh, God. How did he know? I'm caught. So we went out to lunch, and he convinced me to, I told him what I was thinking, and he convinced me not to do it. And it was the right thing.
Wow.
But, I mean, I remember thinking, when I saw him come into Sherry Press, I thought, there is no way oh, God. I'm going to have to face him. I mean, he wasn't like he was completely loving and everything. But I just, I was not up for, I was not up for, that was not a conversation.
But you separate from your wife anyway, right? But you got separate.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to Fred after all.
Yeah, and she left me, which I don't blame her, but you know.
Oh, she did.
Wow.
Alan, if you are done showing the film, you can stop share.
Yeah. But if I'm sure if the marriage hadn't broken up, I probably wouldn't have been working at the center.
Mm.
It was heartbreaking. It was one of the, here I am talking about it, was one of the first divorces in this community. And we had left India 2 years before, and Mara said, now always stay together. Oh, I came back 2 years later, or 2.5 years later. Oh, I was hoping that nobody knew. And I got to, oh, this you might find interesting. I got to Bombay, and there was a woman named Nargish Dadachanji. That was Arnavas's sister, and I stayed there. And I got there, and Nargish says, Jeff, we heard the news, about the breakup of your marriage. I thought, oh, God, I don't want to go on to Mehrabad now. Oh, geez, this is not, and Mara's, their parting words were always stay together and I'm coming back. Oh, I thought no one knew. And I mean, Nargish, how did she know? I mean, she wasn't going to Mehrabad or Mirzad. Anyway, I got there and I was in Mandalay Hall, probably the first day. And Eric said, Jeff, what's this we hear about you and Louise? And I broke down, and I thought I'd kind of got through a lot of it, but boy, I just broke down. And Eric's looking across at me. He said, Jeff, it's all an illusion. And through my tears, I said, yes, Eric, it's all an illusion. That came out of me. I wouldn't have, I didn't know that I had that knowing somehow. But then he called me over and he held me in his arms, and everybody cleared out. And that was the morning session in Mandalay Hall. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Then he sent me over to Dr. Goer. Yeah, I was pretty devastated, but yeah. It linked me up with half of my fellow Baba lovers, future Baba lovers, because about half of them were going to go through the same thing I did, and I could empathize completely with what they went through. But Jeff, it's all an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and I was surprised that I said, yes, Erich, it's all an illusion, even though I didn't.
I gotta go.
Yeah, that'll put you to sleep.
Thanks for sharing this personal story.
Yeah, I don't
Very
know
nice.
share that. I don't think I shared that in 20 years or something.
Jeff, was that Erich or Bao?
What's that?
Was that Erich or Bao that had said that to you?
Erich.
Oh, now that was later on, Bao Kalchuri. I was, I had a long time, relationship with Bao Kalchuri. And at one point, I was at Mehrabad and I was leaving, and he was close to dying, really close to dying. And on my way through Pune, I went to the intensive care. Bao looked like he was on his, he was like at the end of his life. And I'm, all these years that I, had so much association with him, and I'm having to say goodbye to him, who, it meant so much to me. And I'm like looking over at him with tears in my eyes, and like, this is the last time I'm going to see Bao Kalchuri, and I say, I'm going now. Val and everything. Val looks. He's looking. He's got his eyes open and looks up and says, "Jeff, it's all an illusion."
Oh,
Oh my God.
God, I mean, that's the
wow.
last thing I thought he'd say. I mean, God, here I am. I'm like, I'm at the depths of my grief and everything, and he out of this kind of deadness. I mean, just barely alive, says Jeff, looking me right in the eyes. Jeff, it's all. I mean, I'm looking. I'm right over his face, and he looks up and he says, "Jeff, it's all an illusion."
Mm.
Yeah.
That is the absolute last thing I expected him to say.
Mm.
But they knew that.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Yeah. See you
Good
later.
night, Lenita.
Good night.
Good night.
Brother, nice to see you.
Nice seeing you, everyone.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Hey, my computer cut out. I'm sorry, it died because of the video I was showing. It totally drained my battery. But you were talking about Erich before? Erich said the same thing to you that
Yeah.
about an illusion?
Yeah, in Mandalay Hall. Oh, so
Yeah.
you didn't hear that part of it?
No, I didn't hear that because my computer died. But I thought you were talking about Bao. That's why when I came in, I heard you saying it's all an
Yeah.
illusion. And I thought it was
Yeah,
the
that
same
was
story.
a different story altogether.
Oh, okay.
So you got that message from two Mondali people directly to you that it's an illusion. And so after that, did it change you? Did you carry it into your life, or how was that?
Yeah, I would say I have a certain knowing in that respect. But the thing is, what I feel, I always felt from the Mandali, they knew that they were going to get released. They were going to get the alarm was going to go off. And I felt they were going to exert themselves and suffer for Baba and do everything they could for Baba as much as they could on this side before they dropped their body, before they were realized. Knowing it's an illusion and everything, they just put their body, they lay their life down. I mean, they were in great pain and suffering and everything. And I felt that the more that they suffered, that would make it a little easier for Baba next time to come. He would suffer a little bit less because of the suffering that they were willingly took.
12 o'clock.
I remember reading in Kitty's book that she had just met Baba and she walked in the room and Baba said, just stay still or something, stay still or connect with me right now because, you know, it's time to take on some of my suffering or something along those lines. It was the first time she had actually experienced taking on, like feeling that amount of suffering that he had been kind of carrying, but he seemed so beautiful and illumined and rosy cheeked at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this to you before, but back in the 70s in Mandalay Hall, I was looking at Erich, and Erich would be very casual and kind of relaxed and everything. But I said to Erich during one of these lulls in the, the session or discussion, I said, Erich, I have a feeling that if I were to inhabit your body for a half hour, all I would want to do is go unconscious and asleep. Because I could see the amount of suffering that he was able to bear. I'm not talking, this was back when he was more robust too. It wasn't like he was an old man. The amount of suffering that he could bear and still be relaxed and present with us and casual. If I had to experience that suffering, I would be crushed. I could see the amount of weight, suffering that he was able to bear. I mean, I don't know if I should be talking about this kind of stuff, but
Yes, you should.
No, you should. It
This
helps.
is good. Jeff, I just benefit so much from listening to you, all of you.
yeah.
It was a heavy day today, so this is much needed.
Oh,
Did you also pass through the ring of fire like I did last couple days?
What fire? Hold on, let me get. I don't know about your fire.
It's been
Ring
very
of
busy.
fire, man. We have to pass through a few of those.
It's intense.
It is intense. Baba is really intensifying everything.
yeah.
And he says, don't shirk your responsibilities, but don't be attached, you know.
Well,
Easy peasy.
and then let it go. Well, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but one time I was massaging Bao Kalchuri in one of the back rooms at the trust compound, and so I had him to myself, you know, and I had my clutches. He couldn't get out, and so I said to Bao, I quoted this line. I said, Bao, I'm going to quote to you a famous Sufi line, and you tell me if you found it to be true for you and the mandali around Baba. The line is, suffering is he, happiness is from him. It's actually Mansur Halaj. Suffering is he, happiness is from him. Would you say that was true for you and the mandali? And he said, yes. We were only aware of his suffering. Year in and year out, day, you know, month by month, day in and day out, moment to moment, Baba's suffering. But if somebody came to Mirzad, they got the happiness from him. I mean, because how could you be around someone who's suffering infinite suffering for everyone, and be in bliss yourself? It just doesn't. It doesn't. You know, it's you wind up experiencing what he experiences. So you're speaking the same language. You're sharing the same experience. They were willing to do that. You know.
What was the nature of their suffering? Was it mental suffering?
I've always felt that there's a weight, there's a density in the world, a heaviness, especially today. If you open up to the collective, you are going to get hit by that. I mean, one time Dan Ladinsky was reading a newspaper to Erich, and there was a ship that had gone down in the ocean somewhere, and people were killed, you know, drowned. And Danny says, you know, are we supposed to feel that? And Erich says, of course. I mean, that the empathy that goes out that far. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I should be talking about this stuff. because it'll be put on you when the time comes, if it's meant to. In other words, you don't want to go out and say, oh, I'm going to suffer for humanity and everything. It comes, love makes it. Baba's love works that out. However, you know, because we're going to say there's no such thing as separation. By holding up a separation, I kind of I protect myself from feeling what everybody else is feeling, you know. But as that Baba said, my body is like fine gossamer through which the winds of the world freely pass. So everything is, all the storms, all of the negativity is passing through his body.
right before you said that, I was imagining, I had this metaphor kind of flash to my mind right before you said that. And then as you were saying it, it was happening across my mind, which was that I come here like to these Baba meetings, or when I commune with Baba, it's like imagining like this person with this, you know, hood on and like really cold and coming in from like a blizzard into the tavern, and then like being able to warm his hands for a little bit. And then when I have to go back to work, then I have to like kind of put on my clothes back on and go back into the blizzard and this windstorm. And then I imagine myself, I'm like a mailman and I'm like trying to deliver mail, and I mess up and I fumble and I pick up the mail and it hits my face, and I'm trying to remember that warmth from the tavern until I can go back. But then I'm never lost. There's always a string that Bob was sort of like me back at one moment. I could just get pulled all the way back. And then so right when you said the winds of the chaos or whatever that was, that's how I feel in my daily life.
Yeah, I mean, it's here's a story you won't hear normally about Pindu. I got to check. Oh man, it's after 12 here. Well, Shraddha, you had a question though, right?
Yes, that's okay. I can wait.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just curious that I read somewhere, I think Rick Chapman's Following Meher Baba book. He mentions that all Baba Mandali were on 6th plane.
Huh. They're even better than that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say very much so.
I mean, when Pindu was Baba's cousin, at the end, Danny Ladinsky was taking care of him. And when the Westerners, when we would arrive in the buses, you know, there would be Jai Baba, and hugging and all of this stuff from the Mandali. And Pindu was very ill. But he said, I have to keep from saying, I'm going to say, revealing that I'm Baba. I mean, this is, I have to not respond when they say Jai Baba. I have to keep from responding.
Wow.
I have to keep that hidden.
Well, yeah, they didn't want to take the focus away from Baba. You know, they didn't want to be followed. They didn't want to be revered.
But not only that, just the name Baba referred to them. I mean, he was basically Baba. And when the name Baba came, he had to keep from responding to the name. Because that when they were saying Baba, when we were out there saying Baba, Jai Baba and everything, it was about him. Because he had so merged with Baba that he could, if he hadn't been disciplined, he would have revealed that secret, but that was kept.
Baba said that he brings down his circle and gives them very special sanskaras called yoga sanskaras. They don't have regular old, you know, our variety sanskaras. They're the ones that have been given to them by Baba in order to do his work. And they were so pure that could be done. And who is pure, one who's already one with God, but they have withheld becoming one and merging because they want to work for him. And he chose them to work for him. And Baba said, they're like my eyes and ears and nose and, you know, extremities or whatever. They're his body parts. They are him, but they're parts of him to do a function, specific function for him.
I heard Adi say a couple of times that if he hadn't gotten into Baba, come into Baba's orbit, he would have been a great saint with a large following.
Was that
Instead,
Adi?
Adi.
Right.
But he said instead, with Baba, he had to suffer exhaustion, humiliation, and frustration, just ongoing. So he gave up that high place that he could have enjoyed just to be hassled from one day after another, trying to just help Baba in whatever he needed done.
So, you know, we hear a lot that they were veiled. Is that for our protection that that was said?
No, I mean, Baba said that they play certain roles and they live it out, and I think it benefits people of their type. They're
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm sure they're veiled, but well, there's just to give you an idea. One time, Eric said that Baba, I guess they'd been traveling. They were kind of they hadn't bathed, they were unshaven, and they were traveling around. And Baba asked them to contact a particular saint, Kirpal Singh. And so they traveled to where Kirpal Singh was. When they got there, Kirpal Singh was given a darshan, and there were like thousands of people. And they come out in the back of this crowd of people. But see, when people go to see a saint, they bathe and they put on nice clothes, and it's just respectful. And they're unshaven and been traveling for a while, and they're not even proper, and they're way at the back. Kirpal Singh steps off of the dais, goes right through the crowd, right in the middle of the darshan, grabs the three of them. I think it was Erich and Baidul and maybe Gastaji, brings them, stops the whole darshan, and takes them to his little his ashram place. It calls for tea. Tea is made, and he says, "Well, what what message do you have? What do you have to say?" And they conveyed whatever Baba wanted, and they left. And then he resumed the darshan. So
Wow.
a saint from great distance could spot these three souls. Diamonds in the rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirpal Singh was what Baba said, sixth plane?
Fifth plane.
Fifth plane.
That was, yeah.
I wonder who was of benefit in those kind of interactions when it's like Mandali versus coming to meet like a sixth plane or fifth plane person, and it's like who's getting the benefit? Are they both benefiting each other? Are they helping other humans witnessing?
Yeah. I don't know, but I think the saint would benefit from being with a Mandali.
Yeah.
Just because.
So Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff. So all the mandali are God realized souls?
No. Baba said that they would get realization in the next few lifetimes.
I couldn't get that.
Yasmin, to hear Jeff, I think you may have to mute yourself.
Something is okay. No, Baba said that they maybe some of them did get realization, but Baba said that some would in the next few lifetimes they would become realized, because some of them will be perfect masters. There are a number of them that will be future perfect masters. So they have special roles to play for in the centuries to come.
In a way, I feel like,
Yeah.
somebody like Esfandiar had a different role than somebody like Padre or, Erich or whatever, in terms of what their function was. It seemed like Baba's Mandali were there strictly to serve him, strictly to do what Baba needed done through them.
Yeah.
And yet the others were still, still wanting God realization. They were going toward that goal, as opposed to becoming instruments and vehicles of his Baba's work. I don't know. This is the best I can describe it.
But I wouldn't be surprised. What do I know? But I wouldn't be surprised if Esfandiar comes back as one of the Mandali.
Well, of course.
And he basically um, renounces his spiritual status and just rolls up his sleeves as a seemingly ordinary person and serves Baba the way the Mandali did, even though he's all hollowed out.
I was having this conversation with Adrian last night where I was like, I'm pretty sure when Padre was like dictating that letter and he was like sitting there and then he said sincerely yours and he left. I'm pretty sure he got a realization. And she was like, well, you don't know that. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think my feeling of Padre. And she's like, well, you don't know. He could be like a young girl in like the Midwest right now, learning, like getting rid of the last little sanskaras, who knows where he's at. And I'm like, I don't think that's I mean, I don't know. But then what do I know? But it just doesn't seem.
I kind of felt that Padre was had finished his time with Baba. I kind of felt like some of them took off.
Yeah.
His conviction was just so palpable.
Oh yeah. Well, they were all.
You remember that letter that Baba wrote to them? That letter was. I wish I could find it. I don't know if you guys.
He was dictating a letter to Bob Street, and then Bob Street said, "Well, how should we sign it?" He wrote, and he said, "Sincerely yours."
Yeah.
And he was gone.
Wait, he was writing the letter to whom?
I don't know. It was just some letter.
Hmm.
But he, how should I close this letter? And he said, Padre said, because Padre had been dictating the letter, and then, sincerely yours. And then.
What a way.
Jeff.
Yeah.
It's Meherchan. Baba said about 122 members, that is Baba's Mandali, that is called circles. They will have God realization during this avatar or before he comes as the next avatar, they'll all God realized, but Mani will be coming as a perfect master.
Yeah. They're more than just Mani. Baba said Mani had one more life. She would be a man and a perfect master.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think Pindu and I don't quote me on this, but Muhammad the Musk, Dr. Goer, Pindu, a bunch of them, because the thing that gives you the ability to be a perfect master is that when you get realized, and when it hits your body, is such a shock that you can self-destruct in about 3 days. Your body cannot hold the realization. But the Mandali around Baba, they learned how to hold that great suffering, so that they have the the ability to survive God realization.
The great suffering and the great bliss. I can't imagine sustaining bliss is that easy in the body.
Yeah, I mean, I think they go into great suffering, but like I say, it's the shock of realization hitting your body. You have to be so strong before realization to be able to.
I just keep thinking about Mani. If she's a perfect master in her next life, then she's not really going to spend a lot of time around the next avatar, or is that how does that work?
No, yeah, her sojourn is done.
So she's not gonna. But I thought her whole thing was like that she wanted to be with Baba again the next time.
They all want that.
Yeah.
Really.
I guess she'll see herself as him.
Eric said he would come back even as a mangy dog just to be around Baba again.
Man, when you said that last time, that really destroyed me. I
Yeah.
really just.
No, it just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
I think. But Shraddha, did you have anything else to?
No, this was beautiful, Jeff. Well, I did have some things that I will bring up next time. More about Mandali stories.
Yeah. Yeah, don't hesitate, because I mean, we asked all sorts of questions.
Yeah, I unfortunately did not. I mean, I did fortunately, I did get a chance to spend time as a kid with most of the Mandali members, including Manija, Mehra, Bhau, Balnatu. But I feel like I was so stupid that I didn't even ask any meaningful questions then.
Yeah.
You know, it was more just, you know, kissing them, hugging them, embracing them, saying hi, and just experiencing that atmosphere. So now we crave those stories, and now there are more questions, and I think you fill up that gap now.
Well, I mean, we asked a lot of questions, and luckily I remembered a lot of them. You know, I mean, their answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably, if I studied more, I might even know more, but these were just, you know, we spent thousands of hours in Mandali Hall, and you pick up all these things.
Yeah.
And, well, because they have to do with how to live in this life in a different way from just in the worldly way of making it in the world and that.
Right.
Yes, you're playing the role of Erich for us.
Well, no, I don't know about
Yeah.
that. I'm just passing on. I was a stenographer. I put down the dictation. Yeah. But yeah.
Thank you all, but I have to sign off.
Yeah, Payam.
Jai Baba.
Before you signing off, I just say to the persons who have not well acquainted with the Mandali, you can always listen to Mandali talks so that you people can be know about the Mandali. Because one thing is the great thing they have done is they got all the recordings of the Mandali and they kept in the Mandali talk. That's one of the gift from God to us. I can say that way. That Mandali talks.
Yes.
Yeah, they filmed. I mean, they had audio tape from Pete Townsend for 10 years inside Mandalay Hall. Yeah. All the stories and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's precious.
Hey, Baba.
Hey, Baba.
So it's on YouTube?
Hey, Baba. See you guys.
Jai
Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hey,
Merchant?
Jai Baba.
Merchant?
Yes. Yeah.
Nasreen, bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye, Jai Baba, my dear. Jeff.
Yeah. Jai Baba.
If you don't mind, I have a quote I can share.
Somebody's got a little animated.
Yasmin, your microphone is echoing very intensely. Can you mute yourself, please?
Who's that?
There's interference with Yasmin's microphone for some reason.
I was just saying I have a quote here that I'd like to share before we if anybody wants to hear it, but
yeah, go for it.
Baba said this to another Delhi lover. Baba remarked, Baba will soon depart, but I am everywhere. So stay where you are and love me, and see me there as you now see me here. And then Baba handed him a rose petal to eat.
Yeah, read that again. Read it again. Yeah.
Baba will soon depart, but I am everywhere. So stay where you are and love me, and see me there as you now see me here. And then Baba handed him a rose petal to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So beautiful.
They were saying that because they were all saying, Baba, what do we do when you leave? Why? Because he had just announced, I think, that he was going to drop his physical form, and a lot of people were freaking out, like really, really breaking down. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was,
that was 54 too. It was not.
Yeah. That's when he made that announcement. Yeah.
Anyways, sleep well, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
Okay.
night.
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
See you.
Avatar में
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
कीजिए
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
कीजिए
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
और कीजिए
Thank you, Jeff, Alan,
Have fun with Baba.
Radha, Meher
Entertain-
Chanari,
Make sure you
Nasreen Zone.
entertain him.
thank you Jai Baba
Thank you, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba
Marge, quiet Marge.
And Marge.
Good night and good morning.
Good night. I wasn't. I was. My computer died. So I wasn't able to meet people.
Mine was about to die too, so I rushed to get mine exactly at the same time because we both played the film and it drained the last of the battery.
Yep.
Mine too.
I lost my capacity to be co-host to be able to manage the sounds. So I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's too bad with Yasmin's.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Yasmin. Your microphone seems to be having a major echoing. Could be if you have two devices playing at the same time, it can cause that kind of echoing. Oh, Betty's
I
talking.
think it's a fan, which is the fan.
No.
The
No,
sound
it's
of the
more-
fan.
It was more like a
Still doing it.
guy talking, some other voice coming.
Oh.
It's an echo.
Oh, I know what it is.
Right now it's raining.
It's
I'm on the
echoing
veranda
my
and
voice.
it's raining.
Yeah, it's echoing whatever is going on Zoom.
Yeah, you just have to mute Yasmin. Otherwise, yeah, there we go. Wow, I don't know what happened. Technical difficulties tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
12:30.
Well, thank you for sharing,
Right.
Shraddha. I didn't know that you had actually met some of the Monument members, so that's
Well, yeah, kids, little kids, like little kids.
yeah.
Betty's back.
It's still a blessing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you seem to have a huge repository of so many Baba photographs. That's
I
beautiful.
just have, you know the one from when you go to, I don't know if you've been to Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, when you go into the lagoon cabin, there's that love personified book.
Right, right.
I just have a copy of that from the local Baba
Oh, cool.
center that we have here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Someday would love to hear your story. How did you happen to? Because it looks like your mom is just getting to know about Baba from you.
Yeah. She just actually. Is it? You have time? If I could share a quick, very short.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not very profound. But I just wanted to share it. But it's I ordered a Love Alone Prevails from Sherry Books, and I was in a rush and I was doing two things at once, and I put the wrong billing information. So that because there's there's automated kind of, it fills it in for you, and I wasn't paying attention, but I pressed click. I just pressed send, And so I was like, oh no, oh my God, okay, great. And then I was like, well, okay, maybe I'll email them and figure out a way to, have them send it correctly. And so I couldn't get a hold of anybody, and I basically was trying to email, try to call, nobody answered. So I was like, okay, I guess this is just gonna take. This is gonna be one of those processes that takes forever. And within maybe like 3 days, 3.5 days, my mom sends me a text and is like, "This is wow. Did you guys send me this beautiful book?" I'm like, "What?" Like, and she sent me a picture of it, and I was like, how did you get that book? Like, how did you? I was like, they still hadn't got. I had gotten no email saying your package has been shipped or any. I was like, it just went straight to her. Like, I hope that I'm pretty sure they got paid. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to follow.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
but it's just amazing that because my mom just kept saying, she really enjoys the history of Baba in the stories, and I'm like, oh well, you've definitely got to read this book to get, because not only does it have historical context, but beautiful,
Yeah.
experiences that she had with him, and
Crazy.
very, very deep, very powerful book. I don't know if you've read that book, but
Love alone prevails. No, I've heard about it. I should ask for it though. Yeah. Wow.
You read it first, right?
Yes,
So it's such a beautiful book.
really is beautiful. One of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't get over how beautiful she describes Baba in the early days, like them just sort of the Western women sort of learning, like understanding like who this is, and like he just was kind of sharing the more of the bliss side of things rather than until the. I mean, there is still a lot of challenges, obviously, but
Wow.
interpersonal challenges, but
Right.
it just sounded sort of quite magical to me. I don't know the way she described it, and her writing is not too fantastical either. It's pretty straightforward. Like Baba had
Yeah.
us though, because he was very British, so it's like
One thing
Right.
I noticed about her, in every photo you'll ever see, she is not looking at the camera. She is looking at Baba.
Mm.
Every single photo.
that one photo where they're dressed up. He's dressed up as Krishna, I think,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if you can find it, but if it's in that book, Love Alone,
Oh yeah.
Love Personified, but she's looking, she's looking up at him, and her eyes. I mean, you just see the expression. I mean, it's just it kind of could take your breath away. I mean, it really she's looking at him, and the rest of the people are like kind of looking at the camera or looking away or whatever. But that moment, it was.
I mean, she's been loving Baba for a long time, and Baba says she was Saint Teresa of Avila.
And funny enough, I don't know who that is even Saint Teresa. I know the name, of course, but I don't know
One of
anything.
the great Christian saints.
Christian saint. Oh, wow.
Wow. Foreste, how long have you been a Baba lover? I don't know your story.
I don't remember. It's been ages.
You do seem like, yeah, you've been
No,
through
I
this
don't
many.
really know. I mean, he came to me so late in this life. I was 40 years old to come to know about Baba. So I think you guys should be rejoicing to have come to know him when you're younger, because I went through, a lot of experiences before he came to my rescue this life. It's been about 21 years for me. And, but it's been a very beautifully rich and profound 21 years. Totally changed my life. I was roommates with Diana LePage. Do you know who she is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill LePage's wife. When I
Yeah.
first went to India, my very first trip to India, she was my roommate. I was so lucky. And, I had been a follower of Yogananda for 4 years prior. And I had, extreme devotion to Yogananda and that path and the Kriya Yoga and the vows that I had taken. Baba came and just shook my world, totally turned it upside down, and basically said, your yoga days are over. Your Kriya Yoga, whatever you were doing, it's over. And, you know, I was very loyal to my path, and my heart didn't have a conflict, but my head had a conflict. Like, I gave my vows to this guru. Now what do I do? You know, it's like, it was so intense. So she helped me with a very few words. She said, you have been on a train going 1,000 miles an hour with to one direction. And now your train is slowing down and it's going to stop, and then it's going to turn around in a different direction, and that will take time. And sure enough, I mean, you know, my heart was Baba's the instant I saw his face on a picture. But it took a while to completely turn around toward him. So that was a process, and you know, it maybe took 10 years. I would say on the average it took about 7 years or so. And not that I doubted him, it just took some time to get over the previous life into my new life. And then, you know, we did the Chicago Center for 10 years. Bauji told me to start another center in Chicago because the old one had stopped. So once that went underway, I totally became Baba's. I mean, it was just all about serving his cause. So that was a beautiful experience. And then finally he brought me here to Myrtle Beach.
Beautiful,
Just
beautiful.
last
So you
year.
were in Chicago before you came to Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Wait, Freshday, is that your coming to Baba story? Is that the one that you said it was not ready to be told yet?
Oh, well, my Baba story is very long.
No, there was a part. There said there was something about your Baba, like, because somebody else asked you, and you're like, I'm not ready to tell it. Something like that. Something along the lines of that.
That's right.
Is it particular? It's a particular part of the story of the history of this.
Yeah, it spans about, you know, 10 years of it. Like the 4 years before, and let's say, well, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, our life is a Baba story.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so where does our Baba story start and where does it end? It never ends. It's like, and he's always been there, you know. You go back and you look at your life even before Baba, knowing about him, and the synchronicities and the dates and the places and the events and the people. And, you know, it's a beautiful journey. And it's all an illusion, go figure.
I think there's something about the aspect of when I, for me personally, dropped into recognizing, like, my gaze looking at the form of and knowing the name Meher Baba and seeing his form, something, like you said, many aspects of my previous life started to shed very quickly, and there's more of like my soul now has a focus, whereas I don't know, my soul is now more like bring in a certain direct, you know, like on holding on to him. And before, even when I was a child, it just felt like I was in the wilderness still. I mean, I had to ask, I could feel God, like I would, you know, pray to God and I would talk to God out loud when I was a kid, but I still went through so much suffering before I, you know, heard his name. And I wonder what that is. I mean, I know some people, like, for example, who sing like Christian prayer songs. Like, there's this church, this lady that she was playing, somebody was playing piano and she was singing this gospel music, and she's talking to Baba. I mean, she's talking to, in her perspective, and everybody they're talking to Jesus Christ of Nazareth. But I'm like, there's no difference. Like, where she's at, where I'm at, like, she's taken me there. she has taken me in the presence of the Lord, and I'm like filled with Him, like that fragrance. So I don't know. I don't know what the exact, for whatever reason, all of us as Baba lovers, all of us coming now this time who know His name, the importance of that. I know Charles talks a little bit about that, the importance of His physical form.
Also, Baba said, the greatest of my lovers don't know me by my name.
Wow. That's right. Yeah. Wow.
So it doesn't matter, what form we
Well, then
adore.
what's the importance of Meher Baba's form then?
He's the fresh Quaker Oats man.
That's a beautiful story too.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. I love that story because it makes sense, I mean, it's not like love ever gets stale, but what Baba gave us in this Advent is so vast. And we are so lucky because we're right here and we have technology and all these books and all his words and his pictures and moving pictures and the fact that we are at the Advent, he is still here. And he said he is here as if he's in the physical form for another 100 years after he drops the body. So we are in it. We are in the Advent. And that's what's spectacular about it. And he said that now the path of love is wide open. Whereas after the 100 years passes, again, the path of love will narrow and people are going to have to meditate and do yoga and pranayama and this and that just to get to experience something of the, spiritual life. And now it's just a free for all, all you have. I was translating a line of Hafiz that was crazy beautiful. And I'll share that before I leave if you guys want.
Absolutely. I mean, wait, this is blowing my mind. He said, is that why he talked about so often, like, you don't need to meditate, but then he spent so much time in the discourses, for example, so many chapters.
Oh yeah, there's 6 chapters on meditation.
That's 6.
Yeah, he said he gave it for posterity.
Posterity means
after 100 years.
After 100 years.
Yes.
Jeez Louise. Wow.
You are in the Advent. This is the hour. I'm just trying to find a key word so that I can find the document.
And I'm over here sometimes sad because I can't, greet him in my physical form and his physical form. It's like he is not this body. I'm not this body. That's what he said.
Yeah. So this ghazal is beautiful. But the key punchline for me was in the middle somewhere. Should I read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Let's see if this is the one. God, yes, it's the one. Go ahead and wail, O nightingale, if you intend to be my lover. We are 2 woeful lovers and our work is to wail. So here the lover, the beloved being Baba, he's saying, go ahead and cry, because if you want to become my lover, you have to cry. You have to cry a lot. And then he includes himself in this equation and says, we too are 2 woeful lovers and our work is to cry, to wail. So Baba is crying right along with us in this game of lover and beloved. On the prairie where the fragrance of the beloved's hair permeates, what is the point of inhaling the perfume scent of the musk deer? Bring the wine and let us color the Sufi robe. We are intoxicated by the cup of pride and we call it sobriety or cleverness. They have not shut the door of repentance. Rise now. To avoid loving in the time of the flowering of the garden is from laziness. The time of the flowering of the garden is the time of the advent of the avatar. So they have not shut the door of repentance. Rise now. To avoid loving in the time of the flowering of the garden is from laziness. This morning I was dreaming of the ecstasy of union with him. Hail to the kind of dream that is far better than wakefulness. To cultivate the thought of your hair is not a task for a novice. To go under the chain of hair, I think this means to surrender to the will of the beloved. To go under the chain of hair is the path of courageous and discerning men. It is a secret whimsy from which love arises, not from red lips or a made-up face. The real beauty of a person is not in the eyes or the hair or the beauty mark. 1,000 fine points can be made on the subject of love. The wayfarers of truth will not pay more than a half a grain of wheat for the silky robe of one who is devoid of the art of love. Oh yes, it is difficult indeed to reach your threshold. It is difficult indeed to ascend to the highest throne. Don't hurt his heart with your wailings, Hafez. End it now. Everlasting deliverance comes from not inflicting pain on others.
Beautiful.
Is that wild? I mean, he
Wow.
packs so much
Yeah.
in one ghazal. It's incredible.
That's beautiful.
Wow. So beautiful.
There's so many in between statements that are between the words.
Yep.
That are not being said, but you can, yeah, that's just.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
That's definitely something to sleep over tonight.
Yes, for sure. I bid you all adieu.
All right, Jai Baba. Thank you for essay. That was a beautiful poem.
Thank you. Jai Meher
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Y'all
Good
take
night.
care. Bye.
Bye. Jai Baba. Bye, Alan.
Right.